This week on the Sunday Ride, we are taking the ferry to Timor, the last Indonesian island. On the island we camp at riverbeds and beaches before we reach the last Asian country on the list, Timor Leste. So sit back, relax and enjoy the ride.
A very good morning, this time not from the bicycle, but from the open sea. We just left the beautiful island of Flores where we conquered some really big mountains, but also saw very nice views everywhere on the island. We're currently now sailing to Indonesian Timor on an 18 hours boat trip. And from Indonesian Timor we can cycle all the way to East Timor. It will be our last island of Indonesia, our 8th island. So let's make the last adventures very nice.
So that was the first day of our final stretch of the Indonesian adventure here in West Timor. We just found a nice camp spot on the riverside and we're gonna start the day tomorrow with a big climb up to 900 meters, and after that I think it's about 200 kilometers to go to the border of East Timor. Good morning! We have made it to the top of our 900-meter ascent and it's still well before noon, so progress is pretty good. From here onwards it's going to be a lot of ups and downs, some small mountains, and other than that I'm not really sure what to expect, so I guess it's time to explore.
Tidur di sini.
Sleep in the village.
Oke.
Terima kasih.
Ya.
Good night. Good night. Bye bye.
Good morning! Last night we slept here on the riverbed, and right before we wanted to go to sleep, the whole town basically came up to us. There were at least 20 or 30 people around our tent, and they wanted to warn us for flood danger. It's a very shallow river here, but we did some calculations, we had some discussions, and it didn't rain basically for the whole day, a little bit in the morning, and it's such a small island that if the rain comes down it probably rushes through the whole island within a matter of hours, so it was very unlikely that it was going to flood in the night. But we still took some precautions. We put our alarm every couple hours to check the water level if it had risen, and it didn't. In the morning it even dropped a little bit, so all safe there. Everything is still dry, and now we're ready to start our day. So after our last steep climb here, we have reached the border between Indonesia and East Timor, and thus we have to say goodbye to this wonderful country, unfortunately, because it's been a real big pleasure to cycle through all the spectacular landscapes and meet all the lovely people of Indonesia, eat the delicious food. It has been a very memorable experience for the past 2 months, but today is our last day on our 60-day visa here. So we have to leave today, so I can only say terima kasih Indonesia, and onwards we go to East Timor. from the beach here in my 27th country of this trip, Timor Leste, also known as East Timor. Yesterday we crossed the border, yesterday afternoon, from Indonesia into Timor Leste. Unfortunately, the border crossing wasn't as flawless as we'd hoped for because we made a very expensive miscalculation. We thought we were on our 60th day of the visa, but actually we were on our 61st, which meant that we were overstaying one day without knowing, and we had to pay a pretty ridiculous fine, in my opinion, of $70 each, US dollars. We had no choice, obviously, so we paid it anyways, and at least we've made it into the country, so off we go to the capital city, Dili. So after a little more than 100 kilometers in Timor Leste, we have nearly arrived in Dili, the capital city. And it also means reaching a very important milestone, because Dili marks the end of the route throughout Asia, not only by mainland, but also the Indonesian islands and now Timor Leste as well. So it really is the end of probably the biggest and a very important chapter in this trip. It has been a true pleasure to cycle through Asia, and if you've been following along, you probably know all of the crazy and wonderful experiences I've had on this continent. And if you haven't seen them, probably now is a good time to do so. And we're almost arrived in Dili, so for us it's time to take the plane, and we're starting a new chapter and new adventures down under in Australia.
Next week, we are transitioning into a new country and a new continent, Australia. Coming from Asia, it's a big change of scenery. And I also reach a new important milestone of the trip. But that's it for this week, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hi there, thank you for watching this video up until the end, and did you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe down there, or click on my face right there. It really helps me a lot, so thank you. I would also like to remind you that I am making this trip in order to raise money to build a school in Africa. For more information or donations, click on the school right next to my face. And while you're at it, don't forget to follow me on social media as well. Links down in the description below. See you next week.